Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. Thanks for tuning in today. I should move my camera over a little bit. There we go. We have lots of fun stuff to talk about today, but first off, how is everybody doing? We have entered spring. Yay! So the weather's getting better. It is actually supposed to be highs of 18 today. I do not know what that is in Fahrenheit. Oh, oops, I didn't mean to close that tab. But I'm sure we can figure that out pretty quickly. Convert Celsius. 64, 65, 64, 65. So it's nice and sunny. It's not raining. Rain was in the forecast all day, every day. Our weather forecasters have been pretty much 100% wrong pretty much all year. The Farmer's Almanac predicted a very, very cold winter and terrible weather, which we haven't had terrible weather, but we only had a little bit of snow, which was good. We're always grateful for that. Yeah, and then you look at the forecast, it says, it's going to be rainy all day. Then the sun comes out, and you sort of think, well, I didn't plan for that. So I don't know. Let me know where you're watching from, if it's the same with you. Good morning, Tammy. How are you today? We're going to have to start planning trips, that's for sure. Hey, Angelo. How's weather in Chicago these days? Hopefully it's been not too bad. I haven't looked. But I know that there was supposed to be some big storms out east. So hopefully it's not too cold and yucky. Where are we at here? Oh, there we go. All right. So here's some of our topics for today. And I get my notes too. All right. So moving right in, moving right along. So first topic is losing weight. I'm curious for you guys, out of you guys, what is your standard operating procedure? Do you go on a weight loss kick in spring so that you're in good shape for the summer when the weather is good and you're maybe wearing more shorts and smaller bits of clothing instead of the winter coats and parkas and pants that we wear in the winter? Or are you more focused on getting in shape, losing a few pounds before a trip? I am curious. Oh, hey, Christine, how are you? Christine is saying, oh, come on. There we go. Going to be 74 in Denver today, heading to Orlando on Friday, where it's in the 80s. Oh, fun, fun, fun. That'll be a nice trip. But yeah, 74, that's a little bit warmer than here. So that's good. And then Angelo is saying, 44 degrees. So let's do that. So 44. Ew, 7 degrees Celsius. I was going to say Canadian. That is cold. Cold, cold, cold. Good morning, Bojangles. How are you? How's your weather? And is this Franco or Louise? I'm curious. But welcome. Good to see you either way. This weight loss kick. So a study showed that Gen Z, which is 1995, born in 1995 to 2012, that 51% of them try to lose weight before a vacation. And of course, I think we all have a goal of, being a little bit healthier and all that kind of good stuff. And there's a study that showed that 1%, people lost 1% of their weight before summertime. That was kind of an interesting one. A little chatter back and forth. Oh, it is Louise. Cool. Good to see you. Yeah, you know what? And I don't know about you guys, if you go to the gym or you work out at home or what you prefer. Personally, I really liked what was it? Grow with Joe. She would do these sort of dance workouts And there's another one, I can't remember her name, Dance Fit or something. She's Australian, and she would do these sort of like walking kind of workouts and stuff like that. But I like them to be to music that I know. And I know, of course, with YouTube, that's a whole copyright infringement situation. So I like it when each sort of motion or thing that you're doing has a countdown. And I know I can create all of that in CapCut and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. But then how would you create it with you by using the copyright music? Because certainly there's some good indie music out there, Epidemic Sound, whatever. But what if you wanted to dance to a Christina Aguilera song or Britney Spears or something like that? Jordan Sparks, right? One step at a time. Um, how does that play out? Like how I just can't think of a way. So if you have any suggestions, I'm curious because I know obviously with Vimeo, there's a cost for that, but you can do more copyright stuff, I believe. And then you could also consider you could use YouTube, but if you use YouTube, then you're probably going to get a copyright strike. And I don't want to risk having my channel shut down. I mean, I suppose I could create something totally separate, but I don't know. 1 degree, colder weather coming. Oh dear, that's not good to hear. So you're not a lot colder than Angelo over in Chicago. So that's not good. Or what did Christine say? Oh, 74 in Denver. So she's a little bit warmer. Oh, she's back up to spring weather. So, oh dear. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I just can't figure quite how to do that, to create a video. How could you create a video? I mean, other than playing it on your laptop with, like real music, like top 10 music kind of hits. How could you do that and post it? I really am struggling with that one because I just can't think how you could possibly post it somewhere. Because I want to work out in front of a TV or something. I don't want to have my laptop on a counter or something. Anyways, if you think of anything, let me know. I'm curious about that. Okay, going on to next topics. Oops, that one there. Okay, so working out on vacation. Now, I've thrown this out to the crowds before in the community chat, and a lot of people have said that they do not work out on vacation. That's their time to just chill, relax, reset, and maybe indulge a little bit. If you walk by the double chocolate chip, the salted double chocolate chip almond bark ice cream, you can only walk past that so many times before you're going to have to try it. Or something with toffee in it. That would get me for sure. Although I did for the first time in my life have rum and raisin ice cream. That was at the Rio Palace Bavaro in Punta Cana. And I'm not sure, that might actually be my new favorite flavor. I had rum and raisin and I had dark chocolate. And I would have thought for sure I'd have preferred the dark chocolate, but it was the rum and raisin. That was the win for me. It had full of flavor, and maybe I just liked the idea that it had rum in the name. I don't know. But it was really tasty. But studies show that 56% of people try to maintain health and fitness while on vacation. And in fact, 37% of people stuck to their typical workout routines while they were on vacation. I mean, that's kind of tough to maintain. But I guess you don't have things like work in the way. What you would normally spend the time at work, you're spending it doing vacation things like swimming at the pool. So maybe people get up. Well, I mean, a lot of times the gyms are busy, especially if it's a good gym. I will say the best gym I've ever seen in my life is Hyatt Ziva and Zilara Cap Cana. That gym was unparalleled. I mean, never have I ever, not even, I've seen, that was better than some gyms, like some, where you pay to go to Fitness World or whatever. The gym that they had at the resort, which all the stuff that you could do was included, some of that was better than gyms, like payable gyms. Oh, no to working out on vacation for me, beach bum. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, and I think well, I've also asked this where how many times have you taken your gym clothes with you on vacation? And it's really just sort of been a stowaway in your luggage because it just doesn't get touched, doesn't get used, whatever. You might on occasion use the gym shoes if you've signed up for some excursion and it's like a jungle tour or something where, you really want to be on steady footing. So that might be where the gym shoes come into play and at least get some attention. But yeah, I don't know. And then 31% of people said they would be willing to spend more on trips that incorporate fitness and wellness activities. And as we know, a week doesn't go by without us mentioning the Hyatt Vivid resorts. So I will nod to them in that that was the intent of that whole brand, is to do a more overall wellness approach to vacationing. That said, um, there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, there were people working out. There were people who were choosing healthier food items. Um, but then sometimes you'd see them having, some ceviche or a fish taco and then some ice cream, So I suppose it's a balance, right? um, yeah, that's a tricky one. And I think what I think about is the limited amount of time that I have on vacation. And, if you're only there for a week, you're losing a day on either end, right? The travel days. Because by the time you get there and you get checked in, get into your room, unpack, that's probably 4 o'clock. Sometimes earlier, sometimes later. On the go home day, if you're leaving first thing in the morning, that whole day is a write-off. If you're leaving later in the day, you're literally just counting down the hours until you got to make sure you're all packed up out of the room and ready to get to the airport and that whole stress of the travel. So out of 7 days, you're really only there for 5 full days. If it's 2 weeks, it's a little bit better. Unless you're like me and you switch hotels partway through or switch rooms partway through. But then it's like, well, you're only there for 5 days. So what are you going to do? Spend an hour in the gym every day? Some would view that as a luxury, perhaps, if I think from where I live to get to the nearest gym is maybe a 15-minute drive. So maybe 10. So 10 minutes on either side. And if I work out for an hour, that's about an hour and a half of my day that's gone. And at the resort, I mean, I think we would all feel fairly comfortable with at least a good 20-minute workout. At least, you feel like, okay, I did something, and then maybe you combine that with a beach walk or some pool volleyball, whatever. But, but the convenience of the gym probably being a 5-minute walk away from your room, your accommodations, is kind of a luxury, right? A nice nicety. So then why not take advantage of working out? I don't know. I mean, it's oh, Christine saying she stopped packing gym clothes years ago. It's fruitless because they never make it onto my body. Yeah, and then it just takes up space in your suitcase, right? Yeah, so I get it. I get it. But yeah, it's a tough one. Like I said, I just think um, I'd rather go for a walk on the beach, even if it's if I'm staying at the Rio, in the one of the Rios in Cabo, walk on the beach to Medano. That's a good leg workout because the sand is so shifty. It's like walking in powder snow. And if you've never experienced either of those two, it's basically like you put your foot down, and then when you go to step forward, you're not pushing forward, your foot's slipping. So it's one of these things, sort of a forward moonwalk. So you're not really getting a lot of, if your average step is normally like a foot and a half, you're probably getting a foot, maybe less, of forward motion, if that makes sense. So, but I would rather do that rather than probably go to the gym, unless it's a really cool gym and they've got some really interesting machines that I like. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you work out on vacation or do you just say no? Just no. Not, you know what? Sometimes it's very freeing to um, allow yourself to not do something. Uh, yeah. So, Louise is saying, oh, you two a walk on the beach. Yeah. Oh, lots of walks on the beach. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, there's other ways to get exercise. And like I said, maybe you participate in the pool aerobics or something. And, it might not be a full-on hard workout, but, it's a little something here, a little something there. It's all good. So anyways, to my next, my next topic, which is vacation weight gain. So this was an interesting one. I've talked about this before as well. So there was a study done, and they said that on average, so if we break it down to two different types of vacation, all inclusive versus cruising. What's this? Oh, Christine's saying, yeah, the layout of the resort is good to get your steps in. Absolutely. 𝖳tu𝖾li𝖾, you'll have to walk a lot to get anywhere. Yeah, so that's definitely true. Depending on how it's laid out, like I'd say probably Moon Palace Resort in Cancun or Riviera Cancun by the airport. That resort and Hard Rock, Punta Cana, probably the biggest resorts that I've been to and the most steps that you'll ever do. I mean, I think it took me 15 minutes. It was about 1.5 miles from the main lobby of the resort to the beach. It's a massive resort, and it's quite interesting because there's a bunch of different pools and stuff like that. This is at the Hard Rock Punta Cana. Lots of different pool areas along the way, so you never really have a problem finding a pool that works for you that's available. But yeah, you're gonna get your steps in for sure. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons that I lose weight pretty much every time I go away on vacation, even if it's cruising. But especially with the all-inclusive, because I'm just walking everywhere. I don't know. This is just my hair tie, but I don't like to wear a watch. You've seen me wear one, especially on some of the shows and on doing the lives. And I like to wear it on vacation because it counts the steps. But I normally don't like it. So it's kind of handy for that to do your step counting, although you can use your phone, but you don't always have your phone with you, right? So I guess it's a bit of a, you can count every single step and you're not missing out on anything. So that's good. Oh, and by the way, Christine, I meant to say thank you for your email the other day. She sent me a link to, and I'm curious now, are you saying that the woman who, I think it was Tangerine Travels, which is a YouTuber that I've been following for a while. She does great videos, or that couple, they do great videos. Are you saying that that's your travel agent that you use? I'm curious. Yeah, because yeah, I'm curious. But yeah, thanks for sending that to me. And it was interesting. I started watching that. I haven't watched the full video yet, but it was interesting to watch that and see her take on it. And I like the fact that it's not just her, it's her and her husband or significant other who are filming it, which is, yeah, I mean, my husband, he just doesn't like to be on camera unless I, drag him kicking and screaming. So, yeah, it's kind of it's nice to see them working together on that. So talking about average weight gain on vacation, so all-inclusive versus a cruise, on average, for an all-inclusive vacation for a 1 to 3 week trip, 61% of people will gain weight. On average, it's less than a pound. And on average, that's usually just water retention and not fat gain. So it's typically, from added salt. I mean, resorts, or even when you go to a restaurant, there's going to be extra salt uses. I mean, you don't ever hear on Hell's Kitchen Gordon Ramsay saying use less. Well, he has said less salt at times, but usually it's like it needs more seasoning because it adds flavor. So that's a bigger part of it is just the salt. And on a cruise, This is for a 1 to 3 week trip. All inclusive was 1 pound gained on average. On a cruise for a 1 week cruise, 3 to 5 pounds. 3 to 5 pounds, folks. That is a lot. And sorry, I got that wrong. Yeah, memories and mojitos travel. Oh, that's really cool. That is really cool. I didn't know that she was sort of actively selling as well. That's awesome. She has let her know next time you speak to her. I absolutely love her channel. Absolutely fabulous. So thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's pretty significant. Like, would that change your mind if you're going to go on a trip with another couple? Because if it's just your person that you're going with, it's a little bit different. But if you're going with another couple, then sometimes you have to be a little more flexible about things. And if they really like cruising and you really like all inclusive, would you be flexible enough to take a cruise, or would you sort of be more inclined to try to switch them over to an all-inclusive? Let's say in either situation, you've never cruised before, they've never done an all-inclusive thing before. Or maybe what you do is you say, okay, we're going to go away in the spring and the fall when the weather's not so great. Let's go away in the spring. We'll do the cruise because that's probably going to be a bit cheaper. And then in the fall, when it's hurricane season, but the prices are going to be lower for an all-inclusive. So maybe you do it that way and you try both and you see where you end up. But at the end of the day, if you both enjoyed both types of vacation, but the difference was that you would potentially gain 1 pound of water weight versus 3 to 5 pounds of, for lack of a better description, we'll call it cake weight. Which would you choose? Or would you just go with it and try to, eat accordingly, eat a little bit less? I mean, on a cruise ship, as somebody I was speaking to said, sometimes you feel like it's the easiest thing to do is to eat. And, and also perhaps if you're cruising, you might have mobility issues, and that's the reason you choose to cruise, because the cruise ships are definitely, with all the elevators and everything, you're not going to find, oh, well, if you're staying on this deck, you only can access it through stairs. Like, like at the Rio Palace Bavaro, where we were on the 4th floor. Well, yeah, technically 5th floor, I think. I forget. It's weird. In the Dominican, they do it like the ground floor is floor 1. Or I forget. It's like it's opposite of how we do it here in North America. But so if you think you're on the 3rd floor, you might be on the 4th floor or something like that. It's kind of goofy. Oh yeah. So Louise is saying Franco doesn't like to cruise. So yeah, I mean, if you don't enjoy it, then why bother? Excuse me. Oh, and that was not staged at all. But my next note on that topic is experts suggest drinking lots of water because it helps your body flush the salt, the perhaps extra salt that you're consuming, and to prevent that water retention. So drink more water, and then perhaps you can avoid that weight gain altogether. And I do tend to drink lots of water, lots of liquids anyways, but I do try to drink lots of water on a regular basis. So maybe that's part of the reason as well. But the steps, they make a big difference. It's not to say that you can't do a lot of steps on a cruise ship. If a couple that we traveled with in October when we did our Mexican Riviera cruise, they wouldn't have a drink at all. Like, we had the drink package. We all had the drink package, but they wouldn't have a drink, like an alcoholic drink at all, until they'd done like 5 laps of the ship or something. So, or 10,000 steps, I think. So that was, just her thing. Another couple, good friends of mine, they don't take the elevators at all. Or at least they very much try not to ever take them, which is good because, you're getting your steps in and, that kind of thing. So it's a good option for sure. Oh, okay. So he's saying doesn't like Doesn't like it because there's lots of people on the boat, and then it's not relaxing. Too many people on the ship. Yeah, I get that. Especially, some of the cruises are really, really packed. So that can be problematic for sure. So yeah, so I don't know. What do you think? Next time you go on a trip, are you going to try to have extra water to offset that water weight gain? Might be worth a try. Plus, you probably feel better. Oh, and now who was it? Shoot, somebody commented on one of my posts because I was posting about St. Patrick's Day. So go back and look on March 17th if you want to see this. She said to take something called liquid IV in the evening before going to bed if you've had a few extra drinks. And I was like, I thought she meant, like you've seen on, if you've ever watched like Housewives of Beverly Hills, they do an IV, they can do an IV injection. Lisa Rinna, I think, used to always get this stuff done. And it was basically an IV, so it would help your body get more fluids and stuff like that. And that's what I assumed she meant. But in fact, it was actually a packet of stuff that she got at Costco. And it was meant to have, like, it has electrolytes and helps the your body to with the water retention, that kind of thing. Angela's saying, yeah, the power packs. So I'd never heard of this. And I looked at it, and of course she said she got them at Costco. And I've never seen them at Costco, but I can't say that I spend a lot of time in the vitamin/drug row. Well, by drugs, I mean like aspirin and stuff like that, Advil, whatnot. And Angela says he brings extra probiotic powder as well. Interesting. The one time that I did have probiotics on a cruise, I did end up with a bit of tummy trouble. I had it after taking the probiotics, so I don't know. Interesting. Related? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But what I did see is that you can get this liquid IV stuff. It's a specific brand. I don't know where it's made, if it's American or Canadian, but you can now order it on Amazon. It's kind of expensive, so you might want to check your sort of wellness aisles at the grocery store and see if there's something similar. But I've never tried it before, so maybe the next time I am going on a vacation, maybe I'll pack some along. They're just packets that I think you add to water, just like, Crystal Light packets, whatever flavored water. But these actually have the electrolytes in it. So, okay, look at this. Everybody knows about this stuff. Bojangles is saying Hydralyte, a tablet found at Walmart. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Never heard of that. Christine says she loves liquid IV. The probiotics, have to get used to them. Yeah, well, and you know what? Maybe the time to start taking something like that is not mid-vacation, right? This is not when you start messing with stuff that's going to affect the balance of your stomach and the enzymes and all that kind of stuff. Started at home as a regimen. Yeah, Angela says it takes one daily. Start it at home, get a routine, make sure your body's cool with it, and then carry on when you're on vacation, I guess would be the best thing to do. But yeah, this whole drinking lots of water thing, I'm going to try that. And I'm going to look for the Hydralyte, and I'm going to look for liquid IV or something similar. So there you go. I was this many days old when I learned something new. Thanks for the tips. Okay, moving on to our next topic. When to book for Christmas. Now, this was an interesting one. I forget who it was I was chatting with off of a YouTube video, and comments about when to book a specific resort. And, a lot of people have, I always book here and I always book then, and I get the best deals ever. So I looked, on average to see what the recommendations were. So on Reddit, the common theme was book it 3 months early, which literally made me bark out with laughter. Laughing out loud. Yeah, 3 months. I have to say hard no on that one, unless you just do not care where you're staying or how much you're paying, or what your flights are going to look like. So I'm talking the whole package thing. Presumably, if you're booking a cruise, you need to book that way earlier because the cruises book up well in advance. And you can do a last minute cruise for sure. But then if you are like me and you tend to get seasick with any kind of lots of motion on the board the ship, then you want to have a centrally located cabin, because if you're at the front or the back of the ship, then that's where you're going to feel more motion. Um, yeah, Reddit was saying 3 months. What's Bojangles saying? She's saying Hydrolyte also helps keep the hangover away. Yeah, well, that was the whole sort of thrust of the post is, what do you do for hangover cure? And there was certainly a good portion of people who said, greasy breakfast the next day, and I'm all for that. But preventing it, I think, is the better thing. Like we said, talking about the people getting the wheelchair walk of shame because they just drank so much that they got kind of blackout drunk, and not intentionally, but sometimes these things happen. You haven't had enough to eat during the day. You've spent far too much time in the sun, and maybe got a little bit of sunstroke or heat stroke, and you're just not necessarily paying attention. You're having a good time, and everybody's ordering another shooter and another round of shots, and you just kind of get carried away. And also, I mean, I hear of people complaining about short pours. I don't know the circumstances on which this happens. I've never seen it happen. I know I've watched them make my drinks, and they put the ice in and the liquor in, and it's to here, and then they fill it that much more with, right? Like proportionally, that much more with a mix. Like it's 3/4 booze. I don't know. I mean, for me, so, of course, that could be a problem if you're, getting served that much and you just assume it's a single drink, but it's more like you're drinking 2 or 3 at once. All-inclusive resorts, usually do 9 months ahead of time, already booked for November. Yeah, and that's a good rule of thumb for sure. I'm waiting as soon as the Hyatt Vivid booking availability comes out, I will be booking that, especially because the opening rates are going to be so good. So I'm excited for that. So like I said, Reddit said 3 months. That was the common theme on there. Points Guy, very popular blogger, and a lot of people turn to the Points Guy for advice on travel. Their recommendation was 4 to 10 months. 10 months, yes. 4 months, no. Absolutely not. My recommendation, after being in this industry for 20 years and seeing countless people wait until the middle of summer or later to book a trip, my experience booking for myself and others to go away at Christmas and book and travel at Christmas, as well as just like looking at the prices and checking each month and quoting people, thousands of people. My advice is book the flights as soon as the flights come out, because the prices will only go up from there, right? There's only so many seats at a discounted price. Once those seats are sold out, price is going to keep going up. Now, it might be a little bit different if you're looking for a business class seat or a first class seat. That can change. But by and large, the earlier you can book it, the better. I mean, the big travel sales are going to happen Black Friday. Okay, that's the end of October, or like Boxing Day week, because they're trying to stimulate sales for the following year. That's not going to help you out, and that is too early to book flights because the flights aren't out yet. Louise is saying she doesn't go at Christmas, but the beginning of December, good deal comes out at back of school. I will say that for the last, I didn't realize it at the beginning, but about 5 years into being in the travel industry, I quickly came to learn and realize that traveling the first week of December is literally the cheapest time of year that you can travel. I've priced out so many different places, compared them. If there's an expensive resort that you want to go to, the lowest price of the year will probably be that first week of December. It's still low season, right? So, and the demand is really, really low because people are getting ready for Christmas or getting ready to travel for Christmas. So around, 15th, 20th of December is when people are planning their holiday trips, their holiday vacations. And whether they're staying for Christmas or Christmas and New Year's or just New Year's. But that's when travel picks up. And then it carries through. That's peak season starting about 15th, 20th of December, right on through till pretty much the end of April. And then by May, you start to have a little bit less of flight availability, less, not like right now, we probably have, like WestJet alone, I think, has twice daily flights from Vancouver, direct nonstop to Cancun, I think. Come May, it might be only 3 times a week or even twice a week. So it's just going to depend. I think this year will be different because of the demand. But like I say, the earlier you can book it, the better. If you want to book an air and hotel package, that can be a little bit more complicated, but certainly I would take a look at booking them separately, especially if the hotel is a refundable hotel. So, with the Rius, a lot of the Rius I've booked as a fully refundable option. And then if I need to, I can always change it. If the price drops, I can always go in and revise it to get the new rate. If, yeah, so I mean, that is literally the best option. So, yeah. Yeah, book it as soon as you can. And like I said, especially with the seats, with the flights, you're going to get the best prices at the very beginning is the best way to do it. So yeah. And now, okay. And then the next topic, moving on, is I tell you, I have been asked this question so many times, running into people at resorts who recognize me. Oddly enough, at the Riu Palace Antilles in Aruba, there were 2 or 3 people, like couples, who recognized me and came up and chatted and stuff. And it's funny, and everybody always asks me this: "What's my favorite destination? What's my favorite resort?" And they always look so disappointed when I say, like, I don't have one, because each resort is different for different reasons. I mean, best beach, hands down, I would say probably Sandals Grand Exuma, or whatever it's called, but on Grand Exuma Island. Just stunning beaches there. Second would be the Riu Palaces in Aruba, because that beach is absolutely gorgeous. And I love the fact that it's got a boardwalk that you could walk along between. There's the water, there's the beach, there's the boardwalk, and then there's the resorts. So I don't know if you care. I care. I want to see the resorts. The average person probably could care less. But they're pretty to look at, and you can see what their pools are like and stuff like that. And then you can see the palm trees, you get a little bit of shade, and the beach is just stunning. And then there's the piers that go out, and there's usually a bar at the end of them. So that's a great place to go and watch the sunset. And then if you say, well, which resort has the best lobby bar? I would probably say, I might be forgetting something, but I would probably say the Riu Palace Cabo San Lucas. Yeah, it's an older property. Does it need renovations? Yeah, probably. But and you can't see the arch from there. You can't see it from any of those hotels on the strip. You have to go further east. So if you want to go somewhere to see the sunset from the land, as opposed to being out on the water, Sunset Mona Lisa is a fabulous restaurant. Pricey, but from there you can see the sunset, and you can see the arch, and it's pretty amazing. Not Hyatt Vivid. Yeah, I know, right? No, the Vivid was great for is surprisingly great for rooftop, pool view, the infinity pool. Um, but like I said, each resort's got its own unique thing. Eldorado Maroma, also beautiful beach. Also, Secrets at Gamal, beautiful beach. Walk out of the beach, you walk out of the hotel, walk out on the beach, into the water, swimming with wild turtles. Does life get much better than this? I mean, it's incredible. So I'm really curious. I still don't know where this new Vivid is going to be, the Vivid at Gamal. So we shall see. Um, it'll be interesting. So I'm excited to go to that one for sure. But yeah, and destination, I don't know. I mean, do you have a favorite resort? Or Christine, I know you talk a lot about the 𝖳tu𝖾li𝖾. Angelo, what's the best resort you've been to? Because you both have been a lot of places. Um, uh, Elizabeth, Elizabeth SoCal, if you're watching, let me know. I mean, you've all traveled lots. You wouldn't be here on talking about travel if you haven't. So I'm curious what your favorite resort is. Oh, and Louise is saying, do I have any communication with the Hyatt regarding the opening dates? Well, no. The only thing that we know is the latest we've heard is Hyatt Vivid Punta Cana is October, and Acapulco is December, but we'll see. Oh, and Tammy said Marriott took over the Dreams in Costa Rica will be all inclusive. I don't know why, but I've never been drawn to Costa Rica. Again, I think I've talked about this before. Maybe it's because, here in BC, it's so lush, and I kind of want that more like palm tree kind of. I don't want like the big trees and stuff like that. I want oh wow. Yeah, I want something a little bit less greenery. Adelaide is your favorite. Vivid is a close second. Wow. I mean, that's high praise indeed, right? Seriously. Um, So, yeah, that's, yeah, um, good to know, but it just doesn't call to me, you know? But yeah, I struggle to answer that question. A favorite destination, I would probably say, between the Bahamas and Aruba, Saint Martin, like Mexico too. England's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Now we're going next level. Um, LeBlanc Cabo is amazing, but no longer affordable. Well, I would argue that it's never been affordable, but yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, Tammy's in for that one. LeBlanc was just so amazing, and I remember when we were staying at the LeBlanc in Cancun, and we each had our own rooms. It was all really cool. And the first night, I think Tammy was getting a bath drawn. She'd had they were doing like it was a Chardonnay bath, like it was a wine infused bath. Like, it wasn't just a bath full of wine, but it was a theme about it all. And I went to her room. We were gonna have a drink or something before going out or something, and we were trying to figure out because they said that this was back in the early days of being able to stream from your phone onto the TV. We couldn't figure out how to do it, so we called the front desk, and they said, "Okay, well, your floor concierge will come and he'll help you sort it out." So he comes in and he's like, "Oh yeah, you click this, blah 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 blah." And he had it working in 3 seconds. He's sort of like the Mexican version of Angelo, and so he got it working, and I was like, "Okay, you have to watch this video." And the video that I was trying to show them was the Taylor Swift one of the cop who's in the cruiser and he's playing the and the haters gonna hate, 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 and all this. And so he's like, um, what was it? I forget the line of the song was like, I'm walking on my own, bum, 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 bum. And then he would be singing along, and then he'd be like, hmm. It was absolutely hilarious. If you haven't seen this video, you must Google it now because it was, and the the floor concierge, he was in hysterics. He couldn't really understand what was going on, but he just thought it was hilarious. And it was a good time had by all, that's for sure. But that was an amazing resort for sure. Yeah, absolutely loved it. And oh yeah, and then the next day, or maybe it was the first day, I forget. And the concierge desk was around the corner. There's this long hallway, and they had different people working the floors, different days, and stuff like that. So this guy is sitting at the concierge desk. Tammy walks down the hallway, and I'm waiting for her. She walks down the hallway, and at the end of the long hallway, comes around the corner, and the concierge is there. And he says, "Oh, good morning, Ms. Landry. How are you today? And is there anything I can do for you? Would you like some wine in your room after we finish doing your tours today?" And she's, "Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah." And then she turns to me, she's like, "How did he know my name?" I said, I don't know. I mean, it's a great mystery. But it's little touches like that that make you feel like a rock star, right? And LeBlanc was very good for that. Angela's saying, for Dominican, say Secrets Tides, Cancun, Breathless Cancun Soul. Yeah, I mean, the tech gadgety person in me loved that resort. It was absolutely amazing. Or Riviera Cancun. Yeah. So for me, that one, not so much because the beach was quite shallow there, says the person who never swims in the ocean, but whatever. For Puerto Vallarta, I will be able to tell you in November, I'm going to 3 resorts. Oh, interesting. Curious which resorts you are going to in November. Or I'm a little behind on some of the comments, so maybe you've already said that. Oh, yeah. Tammy's already asking, which ones are you going to? Christine said it was affordable right after COVID. Oh, man, I missed my chance. Shame. Okay, oh, and here we go. Angelo says, going to Secrets Bahia, Sunscape PV, and Secrets Vallarta. Wanted to do Breathless Vallarta, but it won't be open on that time. And okay. Tammy's not saying what I thought she was going to say, but anyways, we'll carry on. And I'll comment to those choices of resorts. Tammy's saying, really wanted to check out the Secrets in Bahia Mira. Nice. I did, yeah. Did a night. Okay, there you go. Did a night at Sunscape PV. Not so great. Yep. You heard it here first. It's a great budget hotel. Hopefully you are booked there first. That's all I'll have to say. It's lower than Vivid in terms of offering, like or level. So, but I know Angela will adapt, but it's just not going to be as nice as the others. That's for sure. Louise is saying Barcelona, Riviera, adult only. Food in the restaurants are stunning. The pools are huge, but the beach is very rocky. Nice complex. Yeah. You know what? That's what I don't get. Like, so many people would always tell me, "Oh, I want to go on vacation. And Christine, book me at the Barcelo." And I'm like, I've been there twice. It's not my favorite resort by a long shot. Families love it. And everybody talks about the beach. The beach is amazing. But to me, it was very rocky. Like, I had to put my sandals on because it hurt my feet. It's pretty. But I also, I mean, in fairness, I was only there for one night each time. And the food experience for me was not great. Basically, it was like, no, you can't do the a la cartes because you need to make a reservation. And you can only make a reservation at 9 a.m. And I was only there for one night. So that was a bit off-putting. But, maybe if I'd stayed for 2 nights, I would have had a better experience. But, yeah. But, whatever. If it works for you, that's great. Angela saying going to Bahia Mira for a week. Nervous about Sunscape, but I only booked for 2 days. That's good. Think I should skip it. Yeah. I booked it to try a different brand and going back and forth on it. You know what? No. I would skip it. You want to try a different brand, although it's outside of the Hyatt Inclusive Collection. I would try something like the Sunset Plaza. Or one of the ones that are closer to the Malecon, because you got access to the Malecon and all those great restaurants and shops and stuff like that. Sunscape, it would be like going to Cancun and staying at the Oasis just for something different. I mean, you wouldn't. If it was your first all-inclusive ever, or you're a 20-something and you're going there to party and you really don't care about, they have good food, okay food, but it's not going to be the same level as what you're used to. It's like the secrets and there's Sunscape. And it's fine. Like I said, it's great for families. And it's a solid product that I've sold for years, but it's more budget. It's much more budget. You just need to know that going in. Can easily make bahia mira. Yeah, I mean, so that's an option. Or I'd say, like I said, go outside of the brand and try something completely different. I don't know what else I would recommend there. Try the Hard Rock in 𝖣𝖨𝖲𝖫𝖤𝖀 or Paradise Village. I mean, it was a different experience. Paradise Village is a tricky one though, because it's EP and all inclusive. So EP being European plan, or the acronym, the jokey part is saying empty plate, because no food or drink is included. Which means to say that if you are on the all inclusive, you're still at an EP resort. So if you get a bottle of water, then you have to sign a receipt for it. So then you're like, well, is this all inclusive, or am I going to be charged for this? And you won't. But it's just disconcerting, right? And then also because instead of just going to the bar and getting a drink and walking away, you've got to wait for them to do the receipt and then. But yeah, I would say Sunset Plaza, give that a try. Take a look at it, see what you think. And don't book a regular room, book one of the suites, because it's just more space. You'll like it. Although I know you kind of you're okay with the basic room, but yeah. Yeah, Tammy's saying you'd skip it. Yeah. During COVID, I'm gonna guess I don't know which one you're talking about there. But yeah, right after COVID, I mean, prices were low as they were trying to encourage people to travel again. And then they went as availability disappeared. Oh my God. Why didn't I even think of that? Hyatt Ziva Puerto Vallarta. Angelo, have you stayed there? That's a dead ringer, for sure. Yeah, beautiful. You can see dolphins swimming from the spa room. People were sitting in the spa room, having a relaxing, treatment or something. And I remember my sales rep saying he was talking to them, and he's here and they're looking over here, and he's kind of like, what's going on? And they were watching, there was some whales out in the ocean that they were watching. Yeah, beautiful sunsets, beautiful, small, but beautiful beach. Lots of pools. Yeah, good call, Tammy. Good call. Oh, okay. I haven't been here yet, but this is another one. Yeah. Hotel Masai in Puerto Vallarta. I can live vicariously through you. Yeah, there you go. We'll get Angelo to live stream for us. Angelo, gold drinks and food. Yeah, true enough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I think the Hyatt Ziva would be a much better call. Or like I said, go outside of the brand completely and try something different. But I think that's definitely it. Oh, let's vote. Okay, I like this. So 1 for Sunscape. 2, and again, there's nothing wrong with Sunscape, but for somebody like Angelo, who we know has been traveling to some pretty amazing resorts over the last year. We don't know what necessarily he's been to before, but with all of those amazing resorts, really to go from this to this, again, nothing wrong with this, but when you've done this, it's like, so 1 for Sunscape, 2 for Ziva, Hyatt Ziva, and 3 for Hard Rock. The only thing with the Hard Rock is the rooms are really small. The resort is actually quite compact. Amazing pizzas from the brick grill oven. Nice pool, but again, kind of small for the amount of people. The beach on that end is very compact. So it's easy for walking on, which is really nice. But it's not really sort of, it's, you're not walking in powder sand that's like, oh, this is like a spa treatment for my feet. So bear that in mind. Yeah. So 1 for Sunscape, 2 for Ziva, 3 for Hard Rock. Let's see in the votes below what we have. Tammy's saying, yeah, hi, it's Eva Puerto Vallarta, favorite resort in PV. Yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah, I can't say I disagree with that. So Tammy's voting Ziva. Fair enough. And Angelo's saying, yeah, the Hotel Masai. Yeah. Oh, Christine's saying Ziva as well. So there you go. Out of our somewhat limited voting here, this is what we've ended up with. But that's saying something, right? Yeah. No, and I'd be curious to hear what you think of it. But it's such a beautiful resort. All the flowers, and it's just genuinely pretty. The aesthetics of it are very nice. But I haven't looked at the Hotel Masai, so what do I know? So there you have it, folks. I think we've helped Angelo out with his decision. And next week, Angelo, if you're on, you'll have to tell us what you decided and what you ended up switching to. I'm curious. So yeah, hopefully that was interesting. It was an interesting chat today to hear all your thoughts and ideas on things, and all the travel advice. But like I say, if any of you can think of some way to put a video online somewhere, I guess I could put it on my Facebook page. I don't know, but a way to put a video on a website where I would be able to watch it later with copyright music for my own personal use. I'm not trying to make money off of this by any stretch. I just want to be able to exercise to music that I know. Call me crazy. Or if you know of a channel that does this already, please let me know, because I've been searching all over and haven't found anything. Very frustrating. Gonna book it all tonight. That's good. Yeah. That's what we're here for. We're a travel team. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And we will be back on board next Wednesday, same time, same place. So I look forward to seeing you then. So, oh, and don't forget, thumbs up if you haven't already done so, to say you enjoyed the video. Doesn't cost you anything, helps out the channel. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I did think about that, making the video private. But the thing is, even if you have it listed as private, I think it could still take a copyright hit. And that's my concern. I don't want to risk the channel. So, oh, cool. Hi, Franco. Awesome. Yeah, I will check that out though, Angela. Thanks for the suggestion. I appreciate that. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye for now.